live section, I'll pass over to Eddie for a little introduction, and then we'll come to questions. And we could we ask that people raise their virtual hands, please, to ask a question. Thanks, Eddie. Over to you.
Thanks, Catherine. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're pleased to announce a squad of 36 for the first training camp in Brighton for this year's Six Nations. This Six Nations is the fourth last campaign we have before the World Cup in 2023. So it's an important opportunity for us to keep building the team, keep building our tactical adaptation, and we're looking forward to integrate some new young players into the squad. So be delighted to answer some questions from you now.
Thanks, Eddie. Who'd like to go first, please? Duncan, we'll come to you. Thank you.
Morning, Eddie. Just following on from the autumn refresh, another couple notable absentees in Sam Underhill and Elliot Daly. What was your thinking leaving them out for this Six Nations?
Sam's not quite ready. He's had a fairly truncated period since the autumn, but we're hopeful that he'll get himself fit and match ready for later in the tournament. And Elliot's a bit the same. You know, he hasn't played a lot of rugby, needs to get some good match fitness and some good match form behind him.
And is it the same message to him? He could feature later on in the tournament?
Yeah, 100%.
And is that the same for all the guys that you've admitted so far? So George Ford and the Vunipolas?
Well, they're all been under consideration and all have either aspects of their game to look at or fitness areas to improve, and they've all been spoken to individually.
Okay, and just in your own words, Eddie, why is Owen Farrell the right man to lead this team for the Six Nations?
Because he has the respect of the team. He's a winner. He drives the competitive spirit of the team, and he's the right man to lead the team.
Okay, thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Duncan. Can I just ask anyone who isn't asking a question put themselves on mute, because we're getting a bit of feedback. Thank you. Mitch Phillips, will come to you, please. Mitch, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry, I used this. Not that we've done it for a while. So some exciting new faces in there, Eddie. 6 new caps and some young ones, some 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds. Do you think these guys are going to be able to make a push in the short time you've got for the World Cup, or are they more longer-term appointments, do you think?
Well, we've only got one thing in mind, mate, is firstly the Six Nations and then the World Cup after that. So they're in the squad because we feel they can make a contribution to the team. There's no reason why they can't. They're all good young players. They've showed enough at club level to suggest they can be successful at test level. So we're looking forward to seeing how quickly they adapt.
Mitch, sorry, you're on mute again. We've had to mute you because there's some sound bouncing back when off mute. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Alfie Burberry caught the eye at the weekend. Can you just talk us through what you like about his game and how good it is to see him back available again?
Yeah, well, Alfie wasn't picked on the back of his last game. He's been picked on the back of what we've seen over the last 2 seasons. He's got an extraordinary ability to break tackles and to carry the ball forward in close contact. He came in as a hooker and he's ended up at number 8. And he feels his best positions in the back row, and we agree with him. So looking forward to seeing how quickly he can move forward into Test rugby.
Thanks, Mitch. Julian, we'll come to you, please.
Yeah, hello, Eddie. You've got Scotland first up. What are you expecting from them at possibly full house Murrayfield now?
Well, yeah, they had a pretty good autumn. They would have been happy to beat Australia, had a good win against Tonga, finished off with a redemption game against Japan, and were probably disappointed with their effort against South Africa. They've got a number of good players in their team who are operating close to their best in Russell and particularly Hogg, Watson and Richie in the back row. They've got a competitive scrum, and we know it'll be a very, very tough game, but we're looking forward to taking it to them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Robert Bridge, please.
Hey, Eddie. I just wanted to ask about the inclusion of Ollie Chesham. What is it that impressed you about him in particular?
Well, he's a young back rower come lock. We see him in the same sort of mould as the Courtney Laws, so we're looking for someone with a similar sort of skill set as Courtney. He's got good line-out skills. He can carry, he can hit. He's got plenty of energy and vigour, mate.
Thank you.
Thanks. Liam, please.
Eddie, how are you doing there? You've already mentioned 2 of the newcomers to your squad there. Can you explain the reasons behind bringing in the other 4? I know Tommy was in the previous squad in November, but you've got Ollie Castle, and Collins and a number of others in there. You couldn't explain the rationale bringing them in?
Well, they all deserve the opportunity, mate. They've shown enough. I can go through each of them individually if you like. Hassel Collins is a big, strong winger who breaks tackles. Came through the sevens. Tommy Freeman, we believe, can play fullback or wing and possibly 13. He's got a natural feel for the game. Who have I missed out, mate?
Orlando Bailey, please.
Orlando Bailey, yeah. He's done very well in a team that's been struggling. Can take the ball to the line. Is a strong defender and can play 10, 12 or 15. And we're particularly looking for those multi-skilled backs players who are going to be important, not only in this COVID era, but going forward towards the World Cup.
And Luke Northmore as well, please, Len.
Luke Northmore, he's another one out of Cardiff Metropolitan University. Seems to be a popular breeding ground for test match rugby players. Don Brandt corrals the bars there for a while, and now Northmore's similarly out of there. He runs strong lines, carries well through contact, has got good footwork.
Okay, and just finally from me then, it was a 5th place finish for you in the Six Nations in 2021. What gives you the confidence that will be a very different Six Nations this time around for England? Well,
that Six Nations is finished. We're a it's a New England side. You know, We've moved on from that Six Nations. We'll be well prepared. We'll play with good spirit and we'll play with good tactical appreciation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liam. And we'll finish with Alex and then Simon. Thanks.
Hi, Eddie. Owen's set to return this weekend, I think, but would you be happy to select him for Scotland on the back of one game, or do you think that he needs a couple more games with Saracen to sort of build the fitness up after his injury?
Well, we'll just wait and see, mate. He's due to play this week as another training week, and then he'll be eligible for selection, but we'll have to see where he's up to.
Thanks, Alex. Simon, we'll finish the live section with you. Thanks.
Hi, Eddie. I know you said you were hoping to get Sam Underhill back at some point. Do you think Manu Tuilagi will also hopefully play a part in the Six Nations?
He's had a wee setback, but we'll just have to wait and see, mate, where he's up to. You know, he'll need to get some good training forms, need to play a few games. But, you know, if we're 100% optimistic, we'd say yes. If we're realistic, you know, it's probably about a 50-50.
And just in terms of Billy and Mako and George and some of those experienced players who've missed out, what's the message to them? Is it that they've still got a chance to make that World Cup squad and the door's not closed?
Yeah, no, 100%. They've all got areas they need to work on in their games to come back into the team, and they've got to play at a level where it makes me an idiot if I don't pick them.
Thanks, Eddie.